Happy full moon. Happy full moon in Taurus. It's been a minute. I took some time. It was like a week maybe for myself to really, the sun transited my ascendant sign, and every year I take that space for myself to really redirect my focus. And this year, one of the most important shifts that I really made during that debrief with myself is that I really only focused on like what's working. A lot of the times we can get caught up in the process of what's not working and why wasn't it working and blah, blah, blah. Or if it's not working, I'm like, okay, that's fine. I don't really have to understand why that's not working. I have to focus on what is working. I have to focus on what I can control, what is within my control, what is within my reality. There's two phrases that really came through when I was getting ready for this video, which is, one of them is, no one's coming, but for like adding the exasperation of like, no one's coming, I get to do this on my own. And then nobody's coming, I have to do this on my own. Has a lot to do with that grown up, grow up energy that we talked about in the Scorpio new moon. And the other phrase, and I don't know if I'm going to title the video this, because it's freedom comes with a price. Freedom comes with a price. And so what do you mean by that, Sarah? It means that when you have time, location, and financial freedom, you can do whatever you want. You can impart yourself onto the world. You can do all of these things. But that means you have to look at where you had been giving that power away, where you had been saying, okay, I'm going to listen to, I can only do this because this construct, this, mother, father figure that I've given power to out in the world, they're telling me what to do, I'm going to do it. They're telling me what my construct is. They're telling me how to feel, and I'm going to feel that. And I'm going to feel that instead of whatever I want to feel. So with freedom comes, it's like a buffet. It's a beautiful buffet. But sometimes, at least for me, my Aries sun conjunct Jupiter, with infinite options, I get the zoomies and I'm like, oh my God, what do I do? I have all these, and it's like, my brain likes compartments. My brain likes to have those, this is what to focus on, this is what to focus on, this is what to focus on, this is what to focus on. These are your options, kid. Or it's like the prefix menu. Like, oh, thank God. And right now, we're talking about the money axis today, which, the sun is in the house of shared possessions, and the moon, this full moon, is going to be releasing in our house of money, values, and access to resources. We have some really interesting astrological alignments and, I always forget the word, aspects that planets are making that are just giving us some light posts. It's kind of like, it's not a full buffet, it's not a prefix, you got like an a la carte menu. So we're gonna look this over. If you are new here, if you're new to my channel, welcome. My name is Sarah. Sometimes I struggle with the name, but today Mystic is coming through, channeler. We are speaking through the lens of astrology. I always speak in lenses because I wear these big glasses, and I speak through the lens of astrology and a growth mindset. I'm offering you, my purpose, my why statement is to create an inspired and safe space for us all to find connection. So my intention for this video is to really unpack the energy of this full moon in Taurus at 24 degrees. What does any of this mean? What does this mean for me? How am I going to be activated? How can I best utilize this energy, understand this energy? This is our last lunar cycle. I've been making art. This just hanging up on the Christmas lights, and it's felt so good. It's felt so good. And I don't know if you're new to my channel, and I don't always talk about my art, but I basically like in a, I wouldn't say fully trance state, but sometimes in a trance state, I, put the paint on my body, I'm channeling, I'm open to my guides, to source, and then I really wrap myself in the canvas, or it's kind of like anything but the paintbrush. And I really just get super abstract with it. So this is just like a mini one that I was doing, lots of throat chakra stuff that's coming up, which is a lot to do with Taurus. Taurus runs the throat chakra. So you might be experiencing some throat chakra activations. You might be experiencing some clogs, blockages. I'm going to pull you in. And that just means whenever I have a throat chakra activation, whatever that means for you, means what am I not saying? What's really trying to come through? What am I not expressing? And so I want us to utilize this full moon to express to the universe, to the God of our understanding, to ourselves in the mirror, this is what I really want. This is what I really, really, really want. And also, if you're very new here, when I'm talking to you, my guides give me images over here. I have a very galactic screen over here, and then I usually have a past life going on over here. I have many different tabs open in my very quantum galactic eye, and I can thank my Atlantean self for that being very sober. And so I've been going through, and we all are. So this isn't just a me thing. So please comment below your experiences on your upgrades. I've been going through so many upgrades with complete conjunction with ego deaths happening at the same exact time. So I've been working with the Council of Nine for a while now. It was one of the first big, collectives that I really tapped into back in 2021. And so I've been doing a lot of work with them, a lot of real integration of that. I always, when I channel, I go directly to source energy, and I really bubble and ground and set the intention for the highest and greatest good for all involved and invested to come through. Only the white light of God resides in my voice box and is allowed to come through. But that very galactic team that I'd been talking about, very GFL, that Council of Nine really has been working with a lot of different light workers on the planet that are ready to step into their own, that are ready to step onto their stage. And with, this full moon is an introduction to the energy. I also have an all signs reading that I post on my public YouTube. And then I have a full moon healing, which you can purchase on my Gumroad. It's $11. And that is going to include the very specific channeled messages. I'd been doing a separate video on channeled messages every new moon and full moon, and I'm really integrating the specific ones for the full moon into the full moon healing, because it's all flowing together. So I never want what I'm sharing with you to be redundant. And instead of doing a new moon channeled message, I've been doing it at the top of the month. I've been doing that integrated into so for November, you have channeled messages already for November in the video. It's called Pack It Up. So I'll put the link for that below. And so what has been coming through, because in relation to my art, in relation to that full moon healing, I'm working with the energy of this healing canvas. Because when I'm in a channeled state and I let that energy saturate itself, through the acrylic and go onto the paint, into the canvas and the whole thing, it has a different vibration. It has a healing capacity. And because it's so abstract, it's like looking at the clouds and being like, this is how I feel. So if you're interested in receiving on this full moon, I would definitely check out the full moon healing. I'm going to post this ASAP, but I will post that on my Gumroad ASAP. So definitely go subscribe to my Gumroad. The link for that is below. I believe that's where I'm going to do my email blasts and everything as well. So definitely go check that out. It's like all digital products or something like that. It's like my digital marketplace. And I'm going to have a monthly option as well as a one-off option. So if you want to subscribe to the monthly membership, it's still $11. It's $11.11. You can do that, and you just receive every month the full moon healing. You can also subscribe, or you can just purchase it each full moon, whatever's best for you. I'm also putting together a all access membership. It's going to be $33. It's going to include my all signs reading for the seasons ahead. It's going to include this full moon healing. And then once a month, I'm going to have a live coaching call that's available for everyone that's a part of that group. It's going to be the first Saturday of every month at 11 Eastern Standard Time. I'm pretty sure that reaches my European people as well as my West Coasters and my East Coasters. So please definitely go check that out. That will all go live next week, the week of this full moon, and it'll be like fully put together on, like the season ahead. It's going to be Sag season. So I'm like fresh off my holiday, so I apologize if I'm a little all over the place. I was just very excited to connect. And it's been like this whole week, the energy, I've been like, okay, I'm receiving, and I'm feeling the collective thought of the energy of the United States, and it feels like everyone's watching on the entirety of the planet, and I'm getting downloaded with information from the Majestic Nine, and I'm just figuring out how to human and run a business as a light worker. Okay, no one's coming, awesome. I like the freedom of that phrase, but the freedom comes with a price. Okay, so let's get into it. So we're going to go over the astrology. I'm inviting my guides and the Council of Nine to talk to me through the lens of the astrology. We're going to go through the tarot cards that represent this decan of the astrological wheel, and then I'm going to wrap it up with some final thoughts. So that's our plan for the day. And we talked about Sarah's updates. Super duper. And I'm going to have, for my products of Black Friday, it's going to be 30% off everything in my marketplace. So if you've been interested in purchasing things, it's going to be available. I'm also going to discount my 2-session rate, which is normally $500 for 2 sessions. I'm going to discount it to $450. So I'm very, very excited about that offering. It's going to start on Thanksgiving and go through Cyber Monday. Let's do it. Okie dokie. So freedom comes with a price. It was, as soon as I said that, I was like, that's a lot, guys. Let's talk about the astrology. So right now, what do we know about full moons? We have the sun over here in Scorpio energy at 24 degrees, and we have the moon over here in Taurus energy. Can you see it? Yeah, this is your, if you're new, this is my multidimensional cafe. It's just you and I having coffee or tea. I apologize that it's taken me 13 minutes to introduce you to that, because this is your chair. I just have to move it to the side for a moment so you can see the. I'm going to leave it right there. I've missed you so much. I just have to say, I've really taken a pause on everything and just letting all of these new things integrate. And it was like I opened up and I just saw all of your comments on my art posts, and it just really warmed my heart. And I miss you. Nuno, I'm so grateful for you. Kate, I'm so grateful for you. Like, I can't even say, for all of you, I'm so grateful for you. And so thank you for being here and for being so supportive and just for being a part of this journey. It's a privilege to be here with you. It's just watered down coffee. My sensitivities have been off the chart, kids. So, okay, full moons, sun and moon, complete opposition to each other. What do we already know about full moons? We all become the werewolf. This is not a time for us to be making rational decisions. This is also the aspects. It's a wide conjunction to Uranus, but usually I do less than a 1 degree orb for my conjunctions. So what does that mean? It means that the sun and the moon are at 24 degrees and Uranus is at 25 degrees. So normally they'd have to be like perfectly conjunct for me to really talk about it. But this is Uranus. This is lightning bolt energy. You can't really plan Uranus. You can't really plan around a Uranus transit. So definitely for my people that have Taurus placements, sun, moon, rising, or any of their planets in Taurus, how's that been going with Uranus in Taurus. Yeah, how's that been feeling? That's a lot. But it's yesterday, never, 20 years from now, possibly, I don't know. It's literally like trying to figure out where lightning is going to strike. So with the lens of that, Uranus in Taurus, in our house of money, values, access to resources, this could be big money coming in, going. This could be big ideas coming in, going. This could be big shifts and changes in what we do, how we do it. All of this. And it's fascinating because it came up in my Scorpio reading for the new moon in Scorpio. A lot of people are rebranding and adding extra zeros to what it is that they're offering and just saying, wow, I'm worthy. Wow, I am releasing all that does not serve me to be able to say, this is who I am. This is who I am. I've tried to record this video a few times and I don't know if I offered this or not, but my homework for you is to start to incorporate one woo-woo phrase into your daily life, whether it be the energy is off, whether it be I'm getting downloads or I just got a download, whatever it is for you. Oh my God, it's warm water with lemon and ginger. It's just like hitting the spot. I would like you, why Sarah? This is the last lunar cycle before Pluto goes into Aquarius for the rest of our lives. So we got Pluto over here at 29 degrees of Capricorn. That must feel a little bit intense. It's not making an aspect to anyone, so we're just going with it. But this is, like I talked about, I'm listening to my guides and I'm trying to put it together in a concise way for you. Like my healing canvases. The first time I got the download, and it was on the Aries full moon, so I was like, do it, ask questions never. So I'm very grateful to lean into my Aries on that. But I was like, use the healing canvases? Use the healing canvases? What are you talking about? Nobody does that. It's not been done before. And they're like, maybe because you're the one to do it and you're here to spearhead the way. With that being said, whatever your artistry is, whatever you're offering, whatever you don't niche down, don't do it. Literally, I tried to. From September into October, I tried to like niche down, find my specialty and do the things. Now it's like, no, my YouTube, that's the bucket. That's the bucket that it's going into. My products, my YouTube, my Gumroad, my website, my sessions. Like, that's the bucket. It's a big bucket, and I like that. And I'll just show you. No, not you. With the North Node right now at 3 degrees, can you see it? Of Aries, and the South Node finishing up its transit, can you see over here? At 3 degrees of, I'm gonna go a little closer. These are making interesting aspects. I'll talk about that in a second. So my intention for everything that I was just gabbling on about is do it now, post it now, record it now, start talking about it now, integrate a little bit of woo-woo now, because with Pluto going to Aquarius, the world is only going to get more woo. So instead of feeling a little bit, I'm going to say it's shame, where the world becomes woo and you're like, I've been doing it the whole time. And then you're recognizing that your authenticity has not been showing. And then the people around you are going to be like, wait, you've been doing this whole time and you haven't been talking to me about it. Why aren't you feeling like your most authentic self? Why don't you feel safe to be your most authentic self? So much about authenticity. Authenticity is the only way, my guy. It's literally, and it's looking into the eyes where it's like, are you being honest with me? Are you being honest with me? I love making my canvases. I love what I get to do. And so I'm sharing them with the world. I was really grateful. I had 2 canvases that were being displayed at a cafe in October, and both of them sold. Yeah. All of a sudden. And it was on the New Year's Day of my son transiting the ascendant sign, which I was like, it was a very like, you like me. You really like me moment. It was wild, dude. It was wild. And I apologize in advance, but I'm going to take that back. I'm grateful for you recognizing that the sun is in my first house. So I'm speaking a lot from I statements. I get very activated by these things. So, okay. So the North Node in the very first degrees of Aries, but because the nodes go backwards, technically it's like the last, it starts back here and then goes this way. And then the South Node in the very first kind of like last degrees of Libra, it's like now or never. Now or never. If you have this language, if you're sitting here with me, challenge, okay, another challenge. Integrate one woo-woo phrase into your daily life or send this video to someone. That's one of the best ways that you can actually help me is to share this content. Share what it is that I'm doing and what I'm offering with the world so that more people can be invited to the cafe. I'll go first. Send it. The girl's a little bit wild, but like this is what I'm learning about. This is what I'm excited about. And so I want to share this with you. And so you can utilize that. I know I'm hopping all over the place, but this is an interesting aspect where we have Venus in Capricorn at 4 degrees squaring the nodes. It's like coming up to an intersection. One person's got to go for the other one to be. So this is at 4 degrees, squaring the nodes right over here. And so let's talk about it in lenses. Venus, our yin planet, our abundance, our femininity, what we love in the house of legacy, public life, and career. There's a lot of shame being released. I'm going to try to find the snippet because I know I did some light language on shame. I will find it, snip it, and put it together. I can't remember where it was, but I will find it and put it in its own little video. We're releasing that. Full moons are about releasing. So right now we're not really manifesting. We're also not thinking very clearly. It's like a little bit like we're run by the moon. We're very like lash out rationally type things. Don't do that. Don't do that. But look at where Venus is falling in your chart. Look at where the North Node is falling. Look at where the South Node is falling. And look at, it's kind of like I'm seeing Venus get to this intersection, but I know it's a little scary and it's the unknown. That's what I wanted to talk about. So right now, that phrase, like I said, no one is coming. It's either no one's coming, oh my God, I'm free. And free, do what I want, any old time. I said I'm free to do what I want, any old time. It's also saying like no one's coming to help. You are the person. You are the soul. You have the codes inside of yourself to be the one to help you. It's all about the vibe. It's all about the vibe. So Venus squaring the nodes, and Mars is making an aspect to it, and I'll talk about that in a second, is saying it might feel awkward. It really might feel awkward. And you're going to have this like feeling, whether it be in the throat, whether it be in the solar plexus, it's going to be somewhere in your body that's like, I'm about to be seen. Be seen. Be seen. If I can be seen, you can be seen. Sometimes phrases from spoken word poetry that I've written and never shared come through, and it scares me because I'm like, oh my God, you gotta share your poetry. You gotta share your spoken word, girl. We're getting there. We're getting there. So Mars is also making an aspect. I love that Venus and Mars are at early degrees of their sign. Mars is at 3 degrees of Leo over here. So we have a beautiful trine. North Node trining Mars. And then we have that sextile to the South Node over here. So what does that mean? Trines are like your yes friend. So Mars, your assertion, your anger, your aggression, the divine masculine, how you do things, trining, I want you to lean on this. Just press record. Do it. Just do it. The irrationality of early degrees Aries placements. Dude, yeah. My sun is at 2 degrees of Aries. I'm getting so activated by this right now. Dude, just do it. Just do it. Just say yes. If the worst case scenario is people in your life seeing you for who you really are and you being authentic, That's the worst case scenario. Yeah. And then Mars sextile is actually really free-flowing energy. It's like, oh yeah, I can do this. It's workable energy. You can release things very, very quickly nowadays. You just have to look at it. And it's not easy or comfortable to look at. A lot of this is childhood stuff. I mean, this is over here is the house of the father. I mean, Cancer is the house of the mother, but it's interesting. We will have a Mars retrograde, and Mars will go back into Cancer later on, but not right now. I'm not going to talk about that right now. But Venus in the house of the father, we're releasing shame. We're releasing father issues. We're releasing worthiness. This is the house of money, conjunct Uranus. So if all you had to do is look at your patterns and look at, this is not my type, this is my pattern, and move along and be like, okay, so now the next time somebody comes along the road that like looks just like that thing that I really didn't like, you're just gonna be like, okay, no thanks, I'm just gonna keep walking, and just shake and pee your pants while you're doing it, but just keep doing it. Just keep doing it. I want you to lean into, you know, Aries is the infant baby ram, and Taurus is like the little kiddo, little baby. When a child is learning to walk, it gets up hundreds of times. Think about your life like that. It's not like you tried something once and then you fell on your tuchus and you're like, well, I'm never gonna walk. I tried to tie my shoes once, I can't do it, so I'm never gonna do it. Try again, and keep walking towards what it is that you want. Focus on that North Star. Focus on that either collective North Node or the North Node in your natal chart, whichever North Node you want to really lean on right now. But I love that this early degrees says, just do it. Just do it. Whatever it is. I just want you smiling and laughing like a child and following your bliss and your joy. This is the money axis. I'm going to go back to that. Okay, let's go back to the full moon. Whereas the 8th house is shared possessions, deep transformation, death and rebirth. And this is money, values, and access to resources. This, I love the phrasing or the, you know, analogy of like when we move, this is what we put into the box. And this is like the house, the bucket, the place that we share our possessions with. So we're really recognizing right now, like, whether you like it or not, your neighbor is your neighbor. Whether they fly a different flag than you, they're your neighbor. Yeah. I'm listening to the guys right now. So I live in Massachusetts. I live in a the United States just went through a very interesting shift. And I have friends on both sides. It's a soap opera. It's literally a soap opera. It's a good show. It's a great show right now. If you're watching it, it's very intense and powerful. And you know, I've got my favorite players, and I've got, you know, my favorite cast and all the things. If you reside within the United States and you've been really feeling a lot of either like positive or negatives right now, I want you to look in the mirror. There's a lot, and I'm trying my best to offer this to everybody. I want you to look in the mirror and recognize it's, oh my God, I'm going to put the link to You Can't Have an I Told You So dance during your awakening, because that right now is the mark of, is this person my friend? Is this person on my vibration or not? Because I don't care who you are, what you believe. If you're like, oh my God, told you so, like that's your inner teenager coming out, and that's really not necessary. I want us to recognize that no one out there is coming. What can you do in your life to better this world? That's all I want you to focus on. That's all I want us all to focus on, is how can I thrive by adding value to this world? Values. Adding value to the world. What is it that I need to release over here in a galactic way, because Uranus is going to just like rip the root out, like literally rip the weed right out. You just have to like declare it. And my How to Work with the Moon digital download, the link is in the description. That's in my Gumroad. I offer a very practical full moon release technique. This could be a very nice time to integrate some woo into your daily life. It's literally one day a month you do this, so it's nice. It's like 2 days a month. 1 day a month you get a new moon, you manifest. 1 day a month you release on the full moon. So it's like you can integrate that. Okay. Oh, I forgot about that. Saturn's going direct. Saturn's stationing direct on the exact same day. So Saturn is going to be 12 degrees of Pisces. Going direct. This is exciting. I'm so happy about that. Why, Sarah? Because we're not, how do I say? As we're receiving all of this light codes, as we're receiving all of this, as we're going through this awakening, the ascension, the ego death, the upgrades, all the things, we wake up every day. We get to do something. We get to wake up today. We get to participate. So I don't care, and I'm right there with you. I don't care if you're exhausted. I don't care, like, sleep more. Sleep more. If you are exhausted and all you can do is sleep, then just sit there and sleep and daydream your highest and greatest timeline. Your thoughts are more potent than you could ever imagine. And your brain, all it's doing is looking for something to solve. So I had a moment of recognizing that my brain is a computer this morning. Whereas I was waking up and, the moon is conjunct my natal moon, so I know that it's very activated. And so when I was waking up this morning, at first, like about a month ago, I was nervous about like, what if you have to work on this day? What if you work on Christmas? What do you have to do this? What do you have to do this? What do you have to do this? And then it ended up being that I didn't have to worry about it. And then it's like, oh my God, okay, you have to take every first Saturday of the month off. What if? And I was like, it was actually very, very easy to adjust my schedule for that. It was very, very easy. What about Mondays? What about this? What about this? What about that? You need this time to do this. Well, can you figure this out? I'm like, everything worked itself out. So when I was waking up this morning, my brain had gone to the next father date. Be like, well, what if you have to do this? What if you have to do this? What if you have to do this? And I was like, my brain is a computer. And we know this. I teach this. I preach this. And it was a beautiful thing. So I just said to my brain, okay, that is not a problem. Thank you for being a healthy, functioning brain. Focus on this. This is my North Star. This is what I'm working towards. So what do I need to do this? I said, yeah, I'm so grateful that you are, trying to keep me safe. I am safe. I'm free. So this is what we're going towards. Focus on that. And then I got up. Literally, the second that I redirected my brain, first thing in the morning, I popped out of bed. I was like, let's look at the planets. Let's do this. Let's record this video. Let's do all these things. And I got more energy. I was more vibrant. I was more excited. So it's giving your brain, this muscle, a task. Go do this. Go do this. I feel like that was important. So there's a very wide opposition, but I'm going to mention it. Honorable mention. Mercury at 16 degrees of Sagittarius with Jupiter retrograde at 19 degrees of Gemini. Super wide. But it's an opposition, so I just want to mention it, where this is communication, language, early learning, and short trips, and this is quest, adventure, long distance travel, and higher education. I love Mercury runs the third house over here because it's run by Gemini, and Jupiter runs this. I just recognized that. Jupiter runs the 9th house, and Mercury runs the 3rd house. So they're talking to each other. They're trying to communicate. They're trying to give you a little bit of, why don't you feel that you're worthy of that big thing that you want? And why have you labeled it as big? I talk about this in my self-mastery program, which is going to be 30% off, like I said, for Black Friday. So definitely check that out if you've been interested in that. When you work with the universal law, it's like the universal law of comparison. I'm butchering this. So the room that I'm in, It's a contemporary size. It's a nice size room. Compared to the bathroom, compared to the toilet room, it's a lot bigger. Compared to a mansion, it's pretty conservative. So when you think of that big goal that you want, that big, 0 to 1, to use Cody Sanchez's language, whatever that is. It's not just her language, but like whatever your big paradigm hop that you're working towards is. Why have you labeled it as big? This is Uranus. You could hop paradigms effortlessly. It's just saying this is accessible for you. And it's something that in my How to Follow the Moon, definitely if this is resonating, it's 4 videos, what to do in a new moon, in between new moon, full moon, what to do in a full moon, in between full moon, new moon. So this is actually perfect timing because the week in between the new moon and the full moon, you need to look at what in your manifestations that you're really working on. Your brain is like, it's like, I'm manifesting $100 million. And your brain's like, no, you're not. No, you're not. Then go down. Go to your first 100K, your first million, your first 10K, your first apartment, whatever it may be. I'll share this with you and then we'll move on. When I was manifesting my home, my apartment, I drew it as a studio. And it's so much bigger than that. It's a beautiful living room. It's right downtown. I love it. Like, it's a beautiful expression of who I am and how I feel about myself. And it has a beautiful bedroom, a beautiful backyard, with a beautiful landlord, with beautiful connections and beautiful, people that live in the home. And so, but my brain, when I was drawing it and manifesting it, could only really look at that studio. So look at your laws of comparison. What are you comparing what it is that you want to? You know what I mean? You know what I mean? Because the next new moon coming up is going to be in Sag. It's going to be big, big thinking, big stuff. And so really, tell your brain, thank you for telling me that that you're trying to keep me safe. This is what I want. That's what I want to focus on. And I want us releasing any value that doesn't match that, any construct. And this could be, I feel like it's going to be big, broad brush strokes. I also feel like a lot of childhood stuff has been coming up for a lot of people. This has been going to be a huge opportunity for us to say, yeah, that happened, but I'm done. I'm done. Lasciami in pace. Like, fully. I'm done. I'm done. Honorable mention, we have, interesting, Neptune at 27 degrees. It's in a wide sextile over here. This is interesting to that full moon. Yeah, this is ancestral stuff that's going on. This is interesting stuff. I have Chiron and Aries at 19 degrees retrograde, and I have Lilith, the mean, at 15 degrees in the middle. She's about halfway done with her transit in Libra. That's what we got. That's what we got. What questions do you have about the astrology? What questions do you have for me about the astrology? I'm going to check in with the spirit team, my guides. I'm going to see if they have any specific messages. This Pluto transit is unlocking a significant amount of generational trauma. I don't like to use the word curses, but it's like those collections of like, this is generational. This is a big deal for a lot of families, for a lot of light workers. Definitely going to check out the 2024 to 2027 video, The Changing of the Guides. There have been so many light workers, spiritual coaches, content creators that are talking about these next few years being so powerful and so big for so many. So I really want you to look at your internal shame. The IFS just popped into my brain as well. And look at when I'm acting in fight or flight. Look at when my body is in fight or flight. And understanding that this Pluto transit is like, that's big deal stuff. That's big deal. So you're receiving all of these upgrades. You're receiving all of these light codes. And you're receiving all of this patterning to be released. Just to be released. Just to say, I'm done with this. I'm closing this chapter. I'm closing this. I'm finishing that. I'm not going to identify as that trauma and label it on my lapel. I'm really focused. The amount of channelers, astrologers, light workers that have been talking about the parable, and I mentioned this in my 2025 guide. Ooh, that's also launching on Black Friday. I'm gonna have a whole all signs reading for 2025, channel messages, and then a workbook to go with it. It's all coming on, I'm launching it on Thanksgiving, and then it'll be available, going well into the next year. Remember Lot's wife. The parable of don't look back. Don't look back. Don't look back. Don't look at what isn't working. What is working, what feels good, and releasing the values that you don't like. I don't want you super focused right now on this full moon on what's not working. I just want you to release it, do a full moon release technique, a little bit of woo, and then literally be done with it. And then you'll feel a little bit tired, you'll nap. Honest to goodness, this isn't Taurus. So it's like, I don't want you feeling like you have to do anything but what you want to do that day. Yeah. Like Taurus energy, it's like if you want to go out to dinner, first, maybe second turn. Get the deals, get the, happy hour or the Bye Bites menu, all the things. Go shopping at Marshall's, get a new face cream or a serum or something like that, some new slippers, get everything on sale, get the nice, desserts, and just like snuggle up on the couch with some happy blankets and just watch some movies. Sorry, I have galactic, no, it's like elemental energy. Okay, so I'm going to channel this. I'm going to speak some light language. And really, this is very fey. This is very earthly. Very, very earthly energy. It's grounded. This is fixed negative earth energy over here. So I'm going to do some light language, and then we're going to see what messages come through from there. So definitely just take a seat and ground yourself. I have 2 hematites on the table, and I'm wearing hematite, so that could be a fun stone. If anyone's interested, they're just like popping up at me. Dorishi shikampaya niako ranti shikoko shikopitikora la tuti yoko shkinkorantana rantu shukopaharniana la tio horrent shikaporana la tio koro shipoarana la kio konoshkopoarana alia koko shipokanaya. A lot of your generational elementals are coming in to help you right now. I'm speaking to some very, very specifically. Very, very specifically. And the letter R is coming through very specifically. And the letter R, 38, 17, 13, all coming through very specifically. And so this to me is saying you're receiving all this help, you're receiving all this generational ancestral help. And a lot of the times in the past year, I'd been talking about Aquarius, that you're the King Arthurs, where you can pull Excalibur out of the stone. A lot of generational contracts are ending, and it's not that you existing get to receive. You exist and get to receive. So definitely do some cleaning of the altars. Definitely earth, air, fire, water on the altar. It's disregard the feng shui, Sarah. Disregard the feng shui and put all the elements on the altar and just be within that space and honor and know that you don't have to speak to your ancestors, speak to your elementals, connect to your higher self first, connect to your guardian angels first and set your boundaries and then go from there. And receive. Be open to receive. You might be sitting and you just look and you're just in your mind's eye, you're daydreaming, and you'll see all of these gross things coming out. Just don't identify with them. Just let them come out. Just say, wow, I'm channeling through the healing for my entire generational line, my entire ancestral line. I'm just channeling through this healing energy, this vibration by existing. Get your feet in the dirt. Roll around in dirt, in paint, in leaves, in snow, in whatever it is that you have available to you. Get into it. Hug trees. Eat grounding foods, whatever that means to you, and go through the cycles. So I have digital downloads in my Gumroad. One, Meeting Your Higher Self. That's a guided meditation. It's a donation based. I think you can pay a penny for it, and that's it. And then the Sarah's Protocol is free, digital download. Definitely go check those out if you're interested in, how to ground, how to bubble. Very, very accessible. Very, very accessible. Get some water in you, kids. Get some water in you, my darlings and dears. Okay. The tarot. We're going to end with the tarot. And I have a whole Tarot Essentials. It's a digital download that when you really are integrating tarot into your daily life, I have a whole video. Actually, honestly, there's one big video that's in there, which is I go through all 78 of the cards. It's like Sarah introduces the 78. I'm going to pull that and make it just a one-off digital download. So if you're interested in that, you can just purchase that. So I've been meaning to do that. I apologize that I have not, but it's just one video. It's like the better part of 2 hours where I literally go through every single one of the cards and what they mean. Sometimes I go over the reversals. So if you're interested in adding that companion to your daily tarot spreads, that's going to be for you. So this card represents Taurus energy at 20-21 degrees to 29-30 degrees. You've already planted a lot of seeds. This isn't just about you. So you being prosperous and you being abundant and you having a beautiful life, that represents more to the entire collective than you could possibly imagine. This is where the sun in the sky is in Scorpio energy, 20-21 to 29-30 degrees of the astrological wheel. It's got so many options. So many options. So if you're not sure, if it's not a resounding yes, then don't do anything. Because your mental seeds. Yeah, you don't plant a carrot and then just like 2 days later be like, where's my freaking carrot? The universal laws. This is really checking in on the universal laws. There's a law of gestation. There's a law of gender. Every single thing on this planet has a gestation period. So just like when a mama gets pregnant, you don't literally say oh, it's been 3 months. Where is it? The carrot. You're like, where is it? You got to let it birth itself. So what it is that you want is birthing itself, but you got to get out of the head and get into the heart. This is the Scorpio card. And this is the Taurus card, which, I reference the Empress because she's the Venus card, and, Taurus is run by Venus. So it's a very, very interesting. Scorpio is run by Mars and Pluto. Taurus is run by Venus. So lots of interesting collections of we're deeply transforming, but we want to have a daily life that really serves us. Everything inside of you is experiencing an ego death, but you're upgrading and you recognize you have something to offer this world. You recognize that nobody is coming. You recognize that nobody is coming. You recognize nobody's coming. That you're the savior you've been looking for. That's you. 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 It's like the theory of the egg, dude. It's a wild time to be alive. It's a wild time. I think that's it. I think that's it. I think that's it. What questions do you have for me? What's new in your world? What are you experiencing? What are you releasing? What aspects is this making in your chart? It's a good time to be alive. It's a very interesting time to be alive. Check my book. What else? I will have an all signs reading for you. I'll have that full moon healing that will have more channeled messages. I'm going to be using my Lilith canvas for the healing, which is very fascinating because we really didn't talk about Lilith very much. But Lilith is a big key player next year around this time in 2025. And so getting to know Lilith, understanding her. I have a whole video of Lilith. I think it's in the longer range transit playlist, but you can just search in Google Sarah Botticelli Lilith. I'm covered in paint. And underneath a lot of the layers, there's a Taurus symbol in there. I was processing some really intense Taurus stuff during that time, so there's layers upon layers of it. So I'm just going to use that area. It literally, the canvas covers the whole wall. So I'm just going to use that one area where the Taurus symbol was for the full moon healing. And so I'm very excited about that. What if you didn't have to figure it all out and you just had to vibe as the you that has already figured it out? We know this, but I'm mirroring it for you. And you just had to focus on joy and fun and play and freedom and really romanticizing power, your power. You're the only one here. I'm going to put the link to the egg. It's a cute little video. It's a really cute little video. And it encompasses anytime I'm another you. You stranger across the street is another you. The person that has a different political belief as you is another you. So anytime you're nice to someone, you're just nice to yourself. Anytime you're mean to someone, you're just being mean to another version of yourself. There might be a shadow within there that it's time to release. Yeah, just like when I was saying with the elementals coming through, when you're seeing these experiences and they're just coming up like little bubbles just to be released, don't identify as it. Don't say, oh my God, I have to talk about what's happened to me. No, you don't. You really don't. You can just say that's happened and I'm done with it. I'm going to give it to the moon. I'm going to light a candle. I completely forgot to light a candle today. Freedom comes with a price. I feel like that's going to be the title. Look into your 2nd and 8th house natally. What sign runs those houses? This is fixed on the general astrological wheel. We'll get into it in the all signs reading, but really looking at this axis. I feel like a lot of people right now are grieving the community that they thought was so much bigger is really smaller. And that's okay. And that's okay because the power that you feel inside, that you have with your community, it's okay to let people go. It's okay that not people that have different beliefs as you, but different values. That's something that I really want to honor at the end of the day, which is, like I said, I have friends that have very different belief systems. They believe what's going on in the world, whatever it is. I don't care. I just don't care. But their values match with mine. And so my small community is so potent and so powerful. And when we come together, we don't talk about those things because that doesn't define us. Our processing and what we're focused on and what we're birthing and we're creating, we just vibe within that space, within that celebration space. So if right now you're grieving the loss of friends, or, I thought you were on my, political side, but you're not. And oh my God, I thought this and I thought that. If that defines you, then look inward. Then look inward and release all that. This is community, Pluto going into the house of community. So Really, surround yourself with the people that you love. Surround yourself with winners, with a growth mindset. I couldn't recommend that more. That's a big value for me because my energy and my space and my wins don't take from you. And so the people that I keep in my life, it's not like, oh, look at you. Oh, look at you. Oh, look at you. It's, oh my God, I'm celebrating you. Oh my God, that's amazing. I love that. I love that for you because my wins don't take from you and the space that you take up doesn't take from me. I want you bigger. I want you taking up the amount of space that you're meant to take up in this world because this whole world is a puzzle. And if you're not taking up the full space, you're that wonky puzzle piece. Like, I need you to be the full puzzle piece. And be honest with yourself right now. You can take some time away. You can take some time away. I think this is falling on a Friday, Saturday. Oh my God, I didn't even talk about the times. Jesus God, I'm all over the place today. Okay, Eastern Standard Time. This is on the 15th of November at 16:28. Gold Coast in Australia, the 16th of November, 7:28. Melbourne, 16th of November, 8:28. Central Standard Time, 15th of November, 15:28. So this is Friday, Saturday. Take a long weekend if you can. Take the day off. Do something Taurus. Eat a good meal. Have fun. If you're in a divine partnership, you know what to do. You know what to do. Channel that goodness into this world. All right, I think that's it. We'll get into it in the all signs reading. And la vita è bella, my dears. Miei cari. Yeah, la vita è bella. Ciao.